Hi, in this video we're going to solve the equation 2a equals 6. And we're going to solve it with algebra tiles and with written algebra. Now I think that many of you probably already know what the solution is. You can think of a value of a that would make 2 times a equal to 6, or the same as 6. So my goal in the video is not so much to help you find the answer, but to show you how to represent it different ways. And my focus in this video is going to be on how to draw the pictures of what we do with the algebra tiles. All right? So we'll start off putting our algebra tiles down here. We've got 2a equals to 6. So I've got a key here, and you should always have a key on your work. For positive, I'm going to have green, so either the green tiles or the green marker, or beige, because my algebra tiles the positives are green and beige. And then if I had negative, I would use red. I don't have any negatives in this question, so we won't see any red. All right, so I'll put 2a on there. And that is the same as 6. So I'll move 6 little positive unit tiles out here. And when I'm working with algebra tiles, I like to just draw them on a little balance here to help remind me that the two sides here are the same and that they need to stay the same. They need to stay balanced if I'm going to correctly solve my equation. All right, so we'll draw that. And now what I'm going to do in my picture, instead of drawing this balance every time, you totally could, I just kind of don't want to. So I'm going to draw a little squiggly line down the middle, and that squiggly line will represent my equals sign. It'll show me that both the two sides here are the same as each other. So I'm going to draw 2 green variable tiles, and the squiggly line to show that they're equal to 6 green or positive unit tiles. So those two things are equal. So this is drawing number 1. And with algebra, I'm going to write that down. So I'm just going to, the first step is super easy. You just copy down the equation. 2a equals 6. All right, so our goal, of course, when we solve the equation is to figure out what 1a is. And this, we can sort of visually see. The way I happen to put them down, it ends up being even a little bit more obvious than it might be. If we just split this into 2 groups, and then we split these into 2 equal groups, we can really see visually what one of these variables is going to be worth. So we'll draw that as well. So as you're drawing, just ask yourself, would somebody else understand what I'm doing here? And if you think, oh, well, maybe not, then try to think of how could you draw it more clearly. Sometimes the solution to that is just to draw another picture. So I've got them lined up like that. I'll put my equal sign in. And I like to actually also add, when I'm showing this, that I'm splitting it, I like to add like a little dotted line here, just to emphasize the different groups. And sometimes I even circle one group. I think I'm not going to circle it because I'm imagining it circled right now, and I think it looks more confusing, not less confusing. So I always try to do that. I think, if I draw this in this case, will it help clarify? I think in this case, circling it won't help clarify, so I'm not going to. So now we think, well, what operation are we doing here? When we're splitting into 2 equal groups, we're dividing by 2. So before I write that we're dividing by 2, I'm going to write what we had. What are we dividing by 2? On the left side of the balance, we're dividing 2a by 2. On the right side of the balance, we're dividing 6 by 2. And of course, you can use a different equal sign if you want, a different division sign if you want, but that's the one I prefer in this situation. So if we divide by 2, really, we think about splitting into equal groups, but what we also do, but don't always say, is that then we consider only one of the groups. Right, so we split into equal groups and then look at just one group. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm not subtracting that, I'm just finishing up my division. Right? Okay, so then I'll draw this picture here. So this will be picture number 3. On one side I've got one variable, and on the other side I've got 3 little unit tiles. So I'll write that as well in my algebra. 2a divided by 2, this is what we did here. We had 2a, we split it into two groups. So that gives us just a. And 6 divided by 2 this is also what we did over here, of course, and that's 3. So our solution is a equals 3, which I think many people watching this video will have known sort of right off the bat. And I'll just show you quickly how to check your work. So copy the equation, 2a equals 6. And what we're doing is we're asking, is it true that 2 times the value of a we have, that's 3, is that the same as 6? Question mark. So we can simplify this. Sometimes there's a lot more work to simplify, but here all we have to do is 2 times 3, that's 6. Is that equal to the right side, which also says 6? Yeah, of course. So a equals 3 is a solution. I'm going to use this little abbreviation for solution. The solution to the equation 2a equals 6. All right, just a note, if you don't have different colors, but you do have positive and negatives in your equation, it's no big deal. You can just you decide that you'll color in the negatives and leave the positives empty, or you could just put little plus and minus signs in them. But whatever you do, try to make sure that somebody looking at your work would understand, and make sure you mark it with a key. All right, good luck recording your solutions with algebra tiles.